There were once cars that ruled the streets, real head-turners wherever they went. But now, you might park right next to one and think it's just a retired taxi trying to enjoy its golden years. We're talking about sedans that used to be the very definition of luxury. Cars that made their owners feel like they were cruising around in a five-star hotel on wheels. But times change, tastes evolve, and sometimes the title of luxury is just a clever branding game. Today, join Pedal Punch as we dive into the forgotten kings of the road. And before we get started, can you guess which cars made the list? Drop your guesses down in the comments. Number 1. Chrysler 300C, the American luxury muscle. Back in 1957, Chrysler didn't just release a car, they released a statement. The 300C was what happened when American muscle and high-end luxury had a baby. It was big, it was bold, and under the hood sat a 392 Hemi V8, pushing out a wild 375 horsepower. That was no small feat in the late 50s. It was rocket science on four wheels. And get this, it wasn't just about speed. The 300C came with a convertible option on a stiffened, cross-braced frame that actually handled corners without flopping around like a mattress on a go-kart track. Fast forward to the mid-2000s, and Chrysler decided to bring back the 300C nameplate with a swagger that made heads turn. It had a grille that looked like it wanted to pick a fight with a Bentley, a stance like a heavyweight boxer, and, under the hood, a 5.7-liter Hemi V8 that growled like it smoked cigars for breakfast. It could go from 0 to 60 in just over 6 seconds. Not bad for a full-size sedan with room for 5 and a trunk big enough for a weekend getaway, plus regrets. But the world moved on. SUVs took over, and buyers started wanting sleek and silent instead of loud and proud. The 300C didn't fade quietly. It roared into the sunset. Today, it stands as a throwback to a time when American sedans weren't afraid to flex a little muscle. Number 2. Hyundai Equus, South Korea's unexpected luxury contender. In 1999, Hyundai showed up at the luxury car party looking like a quiet overachiever. While the world expected economy cars and quirky hatchbacks, Hyundai pulled out the Equus, a full-size sedan co-developed with Mitsubishi, loaded with soft leather and respectable power. Most people didn't even notice. But that was just the warm-up. By 2009, Hyundai was done playing games. The second-gen Equus rolled out with rear-wheel drive, a buttery-smooth 5.0-liter V8 that made 429 horses and enough luxury tech to give Lexus a nervous tick. We're talking massaging rear seats, plush interiors, and a cabin that whispered chauffeur optional. The catch? That Hyundai badge. No matter how smooth the ride or how silent the cabin, buyers still saw it as a brand that made budget compacts, not luxury yachts on wheels. The Equus was like showing up to a gala in a designer tux, but with a Walmart logo stitched on the back. People respected it, sure. But love it? Not quite. So in 2016, Hyundai folded the cards, ended the Equus, and launched Genesis, a bold, clean-slate luxury brand. It was the right call, but the Equus deserves a quiet nod. It dared to challenge giants, and for a moment, it came pretty damn close. Number 3. Volkswagen Phaeton, the people's car that forgot its audience. Picture this. It's 2002, and Volkswagen, the brand of Beetles and Golf GTIs, decides to build a six-figure luxury sedan. Not just any sedan, but one assembled by hand in a glass-walled factory that looked more like a sci-fi set than a car plant. Enter the Phaeton. This thing was overbuilt in the best way possible. It had double-glazed windows for total silence, a suspension that made potholes feel like marshmallows, and engines ranging from humble V6s to a majestic 6.0-liter W12. Inside, pure first-class cabin vibes. Real wood, soft leather, a dashboard you wanted to pet. But it had a VW badge. You could buy an Audi A8, a BMW 7 Series, or a Mercedes S-Class for the same money. And they came with bragging rights. The Phaeton didn't. It was too humble in design, too subtle in presence, and too confusing for buyers who weren't ready to drop $80,000 plus on something with the same logo as their college commuter car. Despite being a masterpiece of engineering, the Phaeton flopped. Pulled from the US by 2006, it lingered in Europe until 2016. In the end, it proved that no matter how good your car is, people still care who it's from. Number 4. Saab 9.5, the cool nerd of the luxury world. The Saab 9.5 didn't roll into showrooms like a typical luxury car. It sort of floated in, with a Scandinavian shrug and a turbo whistle. It was weird, but in a good way. A center console ignition switch, airplane-inspired dashboard, seats so ergonomic you'd swear they were designed by chiropractors. This was a car built for thinkers, tinkerers, and nonconformists. Saab's aviation heritage wasn't just a gimmick. It shaped the 9.5's personality. The turbocharged engines were zippy, the controls intuitive, and the whole vibe was luxury for introverts. It didn't need chrome everywhere or giant badges to prove its worth. But behind the scenes, Saab was struggling. Ownership ping-ponged between GM and various investors, and the financial ground kept crumbling. By the time a sleek new 9-5 redesign arrived in 2010, looking sharper and more modern than ever, it was too late. The world had moved on, and Saab's pockets were empty. By 2012, production stopped, and the brand faded into the snowy Nordic night. The 9-5 remains a beautiful oddity, a reminder that luxury doesn't have to shout. It can whisper, too. The car world is a lot like showbiz. One day you're a star, the next you're just yesterday's news. The sedans we just talked about once ruled the roads, even made it onto people's dream boards. And now? They mostly live on in memories, or in a few nostalgic Facebook groups. But hey, don't feel too bad. These cars helped shape how we define luxury on four wheels. Even if they've faded from the spotlight, their legacy lives on. At least in this video. How about you? Ever had the chance to ride in one of these retired heroes? If so, drop a comment and share your story. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Or one day, this channel might end up just like those sedans. Once glorious, now mysteriously vanished from everyone's radar.